Hi there everyone, I'm Eggfur, and today I'm going to be showing you a villager breeder. And there are lots and lots of villager breeders already out there for Bedrock. They're actually generally quite simple to make. Always the hardest part is herding your villagers into the thing in the first place. So we'll show you how to do that towards the end. And these villager breeders are really important because they are useful for lots of things. You can use them to repopulate a village, for example. You could use them to populate your iron farm or your trading hall, and they produce really useful resources for the game. So, like I said, there's lots of designs out there. The ones I've seen all have various issues. Some I've seen where the villagers can glitch out, and so the breeding villagers who are sitting there in the middle of my villager breeder at the moment, they can sometimes glitch out. You get issues where the babies get stuck. So on that dirt block where the villagers are standing at the moment, the babies get stuck on there for a while, and I don't like that. I've seen ones where monsters, particularly zombies, can go and attack your baby villagers after they've been born. And I've also seen stuff which isn't lightning proof, and that means your villagers could get turned into witches. Manual feeding as well is quite a common design for villager breeders, where you have to go and spam on a lever to feed them or throw items at them, and generally they're not in a very accessible place. And then finally, the thing that I've noticed is you can get cats. So when you've got a village with 4 villagers or more, you can get a cat, and sometimes that cat spawns inside the baby chamber down there. And that means that you've got babies and cats in there at the same time. That's not great. So I've come up with a village breeder which is going to fix all of those things for us. And it's maybe not the simplest one to build, but it's actually really still quite simple. I don't think anyone's going to have any difficulty creating this. The other thing I want to talk about is that I'm planning to build a more advanced villager breeder, which is going to be actually relatively complicated, but it will be very, very cool as well. So, look out for that, and keep an eye on the channel if you want to see that when it comes. You can see at the moment that my villager breeder is working, and actually, funnily enough, I was talking about cats. I've got one that spawned up there for some reason. But that's okay. I don't mind him up there. And my villagers are being produced down here by these 2 guys in the middle. And I put food into the dispenser here, or actually into the chest up there, and that will automatically feed my villagers. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the build.
Okay, so let's dive straight in.
So the first thing we need to do when we're going to build a villager breeder is decide where we're going to build it. And that's going to depend a little bit on what you want to use it for. So if you're going to build an iron farm or a trading hall, something like that, you want to be somewhere within range of that, but more than 96 blocks away. If you want to repopulate a village, you need to be near that village, for example. I've come to an area here where it's, there's not a lot around. There's an outpost over there. I think there might be a village in the distance there. But my nearest village is this one over here. And I need to be 96 blocks from the center of this village. I don't know exactly where that is. So I've gone 100 blocks from the edge. And the reason I want to be relatively close is that I'm going to kidnap some villagers from this village. Well, that's actually quite cool, isn't it? Look, there's a ruined portal built inside that house. Nice. So I'm going to kidnap some villagers from here, and I'm going to bring them back over to my villager breeder, and they will be my original 2 villagers who are going to create all of the others for me. Initially, though, for the purpose of the build, I'm going to use a couple of spawn eggs. So I'll just make it easier, but I will show you at the end of the video how to get your villagers across to here. So this chest has got everything we need to build this, and so pause the video, take a look. I've also made a copy of that over here with the first set of stuff I need. So I'm going to grab all of that, and we can start the build. So I've marked out a 2x2 spot here, which is going to be where the the baby chamber is going to be. So all the babies will sit in this area. And I'm just going to start to build around that with some solid blocks like this. And we're going to go up to there, and we're going to leave these two empty because I want to put a trapdoor here. And I'm going to come into there, and I'm going to place a water bucket. That water bucket is going to push all the babies across into this corner, and this is where we're going to pick them up from. So the trapdoor is big enough, it stops babies getting out, stops baby zombies getting in, but what can get past here is cats. And so I'm going to dig a little hole down there. So any cats that get spawned inside here will get pushed to the edge and will fall down into this little hole. I might make it 3 deep actually. And they will stay there. They'll be quite content down that hole. And if we've got, enough cats in that hole, we'll never see any more spawning again, which is great. They might also spawn outside the farm, and I don't need to worry too much about that. Right, so let's come up again with another set of solid blocks like this. Not there. And a glass block here, a glass block here and here. And then we're going to come up once more with solid blocks all the way around. And again, we're going to do glass blocks along here, here, here. And a solid block there. I also want a glass block in this corner here. And the reason for that is as the villagers get pushed along, what I want them to do is to get stuck underneath this glass block, so not bobbing up and down too much. And that means that when we come to take them out with a minecart, the minecart will always be able to catch them. If you leave this block out, then there's a chance that the villagers will be jumping up and down, and the minecart will set off without a villager in it. Next, 2 dirt blocks. So this dirt block is where the villagers are going to stand, the breeding villagers. I want a temporary one here, and on top of that, I'm going to place a glass pane, and on top of the glass pane, iron bars. And they have a very specific purpose in this farm in terms of how they cause villagers to move about. So I'm going to put glass around here, like so, and like so. And you can see already now that this glass pane is joined up with the glass on either side. When I remove this dirt block, it's going to leave a little gap there. And that's the gap that the baby villagers fall down. It means they fall down very straight and in a very specific space. Right, so next I want a dropper here, a composter on the other side, and I'm going to put a composter here with a couple of solid blocks after it, like that. So I'm just going to fly up. I know you're going to have to, if you're doing this in survival, you won't be able to fly, but you can place a few blocks just to get back up. I'm going to put a temporary piston here with a lever on it. And in fact, whilst I'm here, let me grab a few other things. So I don't need any of those anymore. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Might need some more blocks at some point. Okay. So I'm going to place a lever on there, and that's going to allow us to push this iron bar and this composter across, but we don't want to do that quite yet. We want to get our villagers into this space first. So we're ready to go with the villagers. I am going to spawn them in for the time being. I will show you at the end how to get them in using minecarts. So I'm just going to spawn in a villager first. I'm going to trade with him. In fact, I can't trade with him yet because I need to place a bed down. At the moment, we don't have a village here, and so these guys will not take a profession based on the job block. So if I place a bed down, he'll join to that bed. He'll then link to one of these composters. He'll become a farmer, and then I can trade with him. There we go. So let me do that. And the reason I want him to be a farmer is that farmers are a bit special. Farmers can pick up carrots and potatoes and beetroot, as well as bread, whereas most villagers will only pick up bread. And that limits what you can use in the farm to to feed them. So I'd like these guys to be farmers. Okay, let's drop the other one in. He becomes a farmer egg as well, and I'm going to trade with him too. There we go. Now flick the lever, push them in place. You saw some angry particles. It's just because this composter was moving, so he delinked from it and he's linked back again. And you can see at the moment they're both trapped right in this corner because the iron bars are connected to the glass and to the dropper, but not to the composters. So they're stuck in that corner. Actually, if I log out and log back in, one of them will get out from that corner. But actually, this iron bar keeps them in a position where whenever a baby is born, he will never sit on this dirt block around their feet. He'll get pushed straight out. Okay, so I don't need this block anymore. I can go. I don't need this bed anymore. And I'm going to put a glass block on top of these guys. Right. Now I want to make an auto dropper so that we are not manually feeding these villagers. So I'm going to do that by putting a hopper into the top of the dropper, put a double chest on top of that. And actually this has to be a solid block, sorry. And we're going to have an observer, and you can do this right from the ground. We're going to have an observer facing up into that chest, powering down into this block. And what this does, it only works on Bedrock, but an observer can detect items coming in or out of a chest. So if you put our carrots, for example, into this chest here, they will get sucked out by the hopper. Every time one gets sucked out, the observer will fire. It'll fire the dropper, and it'll shoot the carrot across to the villagers. It's not always the best auto dropper because you always get one item stuck in the dropper. For our purposes, that doesn't matter though. I'm also going to place a lever on here, and that allows me to control whether more carrots flow through or not. So I'm going to get rid of those, don't need those anymore. And I'm going to put some glass on top of here to stop anything spawning, and on top of there to stop anything spawning. So that should be fairly spawn proof now. Right, back on the top, we are going to place some beds. And the way I want to place the beds is so that the beds are 2 blocks above the villagers. That means they won't be able to sleep on them, and they won't therefore be able to glitch out of their little area. So I'm going to do it, I think it might come out 4 like that, and we'll do a square, and then we'll see if we think that's enough. So I can fill all of this in. I won't need these blocks long term, but just for now. So I'm going to place, did I get rid of that bed over there? Yeah. So I'm going to place a white bed here, a white bed there, and then I'm going to go down and get my other beds. So there's a load of stuff I don't really need. Get it onto my hotbar. There we go. And I'm going to place these lime beds along here in some pattern. It doesn't really matter which order they go in. There we go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lime beds. And that means we can have 8 baby villagers at a time in our little space down here. And that is almost it. We do need to build a lightning shield though. And if you look at where the villagers' heads are at the moment, they're level with the dispenser. And I need to have a space which is 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then the lightning shield. So from here, I need to come up 1 block, and then I build my lightning shield at this height here. And this lightning shield, so that's directly above their heads at the moment, has to come out 3 in every direction. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this way as well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I need to fill all of this in, so I will do that, and I'll see you in a mo. Great, so there's our lightning shield done. So I need a torch on the top of this. So let's place the torch down, and that'll stop anything spawning up here. I don't want it to spawn. By the way, if you're in survival mode, I've not given you any way of getting down. You have to either just jump or, MLG it or something. I don't need that block anymore. And actually, you don't need any of these blocks under the beds. You can keep them there if you want, but if you want those blocks back, you can get them back. Just keep that glass one. There we go. So that's the village breeder almost done. We'll need to put some carrots in it in a moment, but we have our villagers there. They're quite happy. The next thing is we need a way to get villagers out. And also, if you notice at the moment that this space here, going to that corner, so all my villagers are going to be in this corner here. This space is accessible at the moment to baby zombies. And baby zombies will go in there, absolutely, and will kill our villagers. And we don't want that to happen. So how are we going to stop that? Well, I'm going to start off by placing a solid block here. No, I'm not. I'll place a dispenser there. That'd be better, wouldn't it? I'll place a dispenser here with a glass block. I go by glass blocks as well. With a glass block on top of it. And a button. Yeah, a button. There he is. And I recommend a stone button on top of it. Down here, a piece of redstone. Here, we're going to put a powered rail. And then we're going to have to dig out 1, 2 blocks, powered rail, and then a normal rail just here. So what's going to happen here is when I press the button, it's going to power this redstone, it's going to power that dispenser, that's going to power the rail up to here. What it doesn't do at the moment is it doesn't stop baby zombies getting into this corner here. So we are going to put a fence gate on top of there. And this dust is also going to power that fence gate. So it's doing a lot of work for us. So now if I press the button, you see the fence gate opens. And if I put minecarts in there, they'll get placed on this rail, they'll pick up a villager, the gate will open, and the powered rails will come on, and off we go. And that means that this is all completely safe now from zombie attack. It's safe from cats, it's safe from baby villagers getting stuck in here, it's safe from anyone being able to sleep on the beds, it's safe from everything turning into witches because of lightning storms, and also, let's put some carrots in here. It's automatic. In fact, let me grab this back. So that was 6. I want to show you something how we can arrange this. So we've done 6 already. That'd be 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. So I reckon if I put 24 carrots in here, these guys will start breeding. And what happens is that only one of the 2 farmers will ever pick up the carrots. But once he has more than 12, then that's enough for him, and he'll share them. And he'll chuck them to his fellow villager. And then they'll both have 12, they'll both be happy, they'll both be willing to breed. And you can see straight away, we're going to get a baby coming out. And 3, 2, 1, there we go. So there's our first baby. And the interesting thing is now that I can get exactly the right number of babies I want by putting in groups of 12 carrots. So if I put in another 12 carrots, I will get 1 more baby. Not 0 babies, not 2 babies, I will get 1 more baby, and here he comes. And by the way, in terms of timings, in my testing, if you keep feeding them, if you keep constant food coming to them, you'll get about 70 an hour in my testing. I don't know if that's it wasn't a long-term test, it was over an hour. So it could be that it varies quite a bit, but I did it twice. I got, I think, 72 the first time and 70 the second time. So that seems pretty good. Don't open this trapdoor, by the way, or the babies will fall down the hole, which would be a bit of a shame. Okay, what do we need to do next? Let's grab some minecarts. And take a few, go and stick them in here. And by the way, you don't need to do this. You could just place the minecarts here. Just have a solid block there. Place the minecarts when you want to grab a baby. But we're going to be a bit clever about it. Do it automatically. So now if I push this button, you'll see the minecart comes out with a baby on it. Do that again. Minecart and baby. So there we go. If I want to stop things coming out through here, I could just flick the lever. So if you want to, load this chest up with lots of stuff in advance, you can just turn it off here. That locks this hopper, stops anything coming out. Therefore, the observer never sees anything change in the chest. Doesn't fire the dispenser. But you will get one item stuck in here. And when I turn it on again, things will start coming out. Well, that's it. That's my villager breeder. I hope you get on a bit well in your worlds. Hopefully it's got lots of helpful little bits and bobs which prevent some of the problems with the others which are out there. And if you do get any problems with this one, do let me know, of course, and I will try and fix them for you. By the way, I just put some torches just around the edges of the build just to keep creepers and stuff away. But yeah, I hope to see you next time, and keep an eye out for my advanced villager breeder, which I shall hopefully be publishing very soon, and will have lots of cool features. Alrighty, take care, bye bye.